Svega hvala vam puno za pozivu. Velika mi je čast da mogu biti učasnikom današnjeg razgovora. Ali ja moram da se izvinjavam, ja učim vaš jezik iz poštovanja prema vama, ali ja ne mogu još uvijek tečno govorim. Ja bih govorio na engleski. Ja sam jedini učasnik koji ne govori crnogorski. Anything or lots of things have been already said, but I would start with I agree that taxation policy is important for the country and macroeconomic point of view, but for the foreign investors there are other factors that are very important by deciding investing in the country or extending the investment in the country. Things like And this is it will be interesting concept because you can relate to the Montenegrin economy. Like the first thing is the size of the market. Second thing might be the income level of the population. Third thing might be the accessibility to skilled employees or the level of education and skill level of the employees. Fourth might be the rule of law or the legal framework and the transparency of the legal framework, also the bureaucracy in the country. So these are the main things that the foreign investors are looking, and tax policy is important, but not the first. I mean, tax policy is important for governments because out of the other things that are mentioned, I didn't mention corruption, black economy, etc. Other things are very difficult to influence on a short run. Tax policy is important, I believe, because it's the easiest way to attract the attention of the investors, because with well-structured tax policy, you can make the country's competitiveness, you can raise the country's competitiveness, and there are few or many countries, when it comes to the global picture, there are few countries who are having a transparent and well-structured taxation policy, and they can incentivize types of investments to come to the country. And when it comes to the global trend, yes, it's true that basically the global trend of corporate tax levels and tax levels is decreasing, and it's true that Montenegro is currently still below the European average or the world average. However, the trend is the opposite. Montenegro is among, I was checking this in some researches, Montenegro is among the top 5 countries who are increasing the taxation levels throughout the world. So the trend is the trend now is opposite when it comes to the tax level changes. And when it comes to the Montenegrin investors, we believe that the way to invite and motivate and incentivize further investment would be a structural way, as Mr. Katnic already mentioned, not focusing only the taxation policy, but to those things that I've already mentioned. What the expectations, transparency were already mentioned. I also fully agree. I don't want to repeat. There are other things that are also important, and I would initiate the conversation about efficiency of the taxation system. And by the efficiency, I mean that first of all, the efficient taxation system would be such, by theory, that will not influence too much how the market participants conduct the business. So the tax level should be such that either if it is changes, the economic output will not change in a middle run. So taxpayers will not change too much of the way how they conduct business. That might be in theory an effective tax rate. And the second is that taxation system shall not provide too much room for avoiding of payment of taxes. That is what would be the expectation of the investors by theory. And probably it's true for Montenegro as well. And third one was not mentioned, but I believe it's important, is the benefit principle, is that companies who are doing transparent business, and I'm through the MFIC and also CKBa, I'm representing such companies that they are doing transparent business, and based on the tax payments and based on the income and profits, we represent significant part of the Montenegrin economy. The benefit principle would be that biggest taxpayers have some benefits. And what I mean in benefits in the social dialogue or the public-private dialogue, there should be the room for sharing experiences, there should be room for meaningful discussions, there should be the room for cooperation and coordination of the most important changes. So these are the principles that and expectations of foreign investment.